Hi beauty, welcome back to the mat. Today I have got an essential mat Pilates flow for you. We're gonna be really focused on form, alignment, breathing. This is a good place to start if we are just beginning our Pilates journey or we're coming back from an injury or anything like that. It's a great place to start with your understanding your form and your alignments, especially working down onto the mat. So we're gonna get started on our back, come into a lying position. Take your feet about hip distance apart, line your knees up with your hips. And then just let yourself kind of relax into the mat for a moment. Together, let's take a big inhale in, filling up through the ribs. And then a full, complete exhale out, feeling the abdominals get heavy as you exhale. Let's do that 2 more times. We inhale, feel the ribs expand. Exhale, feel like a corset is tightening around the waist as you let all the air out. Last one here, inhale, expand, breathing down into the diaphragm, the rib cage. And then exhale, think about deflating the belly, letting that get nice and heavy as you sink deeper into the mat. On your next inhale, let's start to sway the knees from right to left. Just letting those knees kind of rock for a second as you open up the spine, the hips. Taking a nice big exhale as you pass through the center and into the stretch. Start to finish out your last one, bringing those knees back through center. Take your left leg, extend it down the mat as your left arm reaches up and overhead. Feel that stretch all the way from your toe to your fingertips. Take a nice big exhale. One more time, we inhale, feel the ribs expand. Exhale, feel the abs get heavy. Let's drag the heel across the mat as you bring it all the way back in, lowering the arm down, switch sides, right leg drags out, right arm reaches overhead, trying to get longer through the limbs here as you reach. It's like you're being pulled in 2 different directions. Again, taking a big exhale here, settling into the stretch a little more. And then we drag that heel across the mat, right arm comes back down by your side. Let's start with our pelvic curls. On your next exhale, I want you to think about tipping your pelvis backwards, like you're trying to put all the bones in your back down onto the mat, and then release that. So nothing actually happens. We're not actually lifting the hips off of the mat. We're just taking that pelvis and manipulating it, right? So think of the pelvis like a water bowl. You're tipping that water bowl so it's spilling onto the mat under you. And then you're releasing that, and there's where you feel that air pocket underneath you. And again, tip, feel the abs get heavy, and release, yeah? So feeling how we're just kind of manipulating the pelvis, the spine here for just a second. On your next one, let's tip that pelvis back just slightly, and I want you to feel your abs getting really heavy here. Without moving the position of the pelvis, we start to bring the left leg up to a march, and then tap it down towards the mat. Inhale as it comes up, exhale as you tap it down. Inhale, lift, exhale, you tap. So I really want you to focus on holding the hips as still as you can. We just did that pelvic curl because I wanted you to bring some awareness to the pelvis moving forward and backwards. And now we know the difference of when it's staying still, trying not to move it here. We're gonna go back 4 more toe taps for 4, for 3, for 2. Next time the knee comes up, pause. Left arm reaches up to the ceiling, kind of like dead bug. We extend the left leg out, left arm reaches overhead, just like our warm up, and then pull that knee back over your hip. Again, extend the arm, extend the leg. Abs are heavy here. Bring it right back in. So again, noticing what's happening in the pelvis, trying to keep that pelvis super still. Avoiding arching the back off the mat as you extend that leg out. And pull. Good, let's go for 4. For 3. Deflating the abdominals like a balloon every time you extend that leg out. Last one here. Bring it in and set it down. Right leg comes up. Again, notice the pelvis, keep it still, and toe taps. Lower that leg down, and we lift. Lower, and lift. Noticing that if you tap the toe a little further from you, so a little longer down the mat, Notice how that makes it a little bit more challenging to keep the pelvis still, the ribs closed, and the abs heavy. So as we're beginning our Pilates journey, a lot of the fancy stuff gets stripped away and we focus on the foundational movement. Without the foundations, we can't ever really build good form, good alignment that we need for some of the more advanced stuff that we do. Let's finish our last one, knee over hip, right arm to the sky. Now that leg extends away from you as the right arm reaches overhead, and we pull with the abs to bring it back in. Taking your breath as you go, inhale, exhale, you pull. Imagining that breath filling up the sides of the rib cage. As you exhale, the abs get heavier. Again, thinking about that balloon, letting all the air deflate out of the abs here. We go for 4. For 3. Last 2. Final one, nice and strong. Bring it in, lower the arm, but keep the leg where it's at. We exhale, lift that other leg up. So now both knees are in line with the hips, and let's check back in with the pelvis. Make sure that we're just slightly tipping it back, so just like a little water's running over that bowl. Let's go into alternating toe taps. One toe goes down towards the mat, you bring it back up, other leg goes, tap, and switch, and switch. Again, pelvis as still as you can get it. Tapping the toes further away from you if we're ready for that. Otherwise, keep those toes a little bit closer. Notice how I'm kind of tapping them underneath me almost. That makes it a little bit nicer to keep that pelvis still if we need the support. We go for 4. For 3. For 2. Last one, bring both knees over the hips, reach your arms out into a T, straight from your sides. From here, we go into our spine twist. Let the knees fall over towards the left. Using the obliques, we pull the knees back over the hips, and they fall over to the right, you twist. Exhale, come back up, knees over hips. Inhale as they start to fall. Exhale as they start to come up. Actively pressing the palms into the floor here, so you feel anchored and connected to your back. And I want you to start to pay attention to what's happening through the torso as the knees fall over. Try to keep the back of your rib cage connected to the mat the whole time. That's like your sports bra line staying on the mat as you twist. We're gonna start to finish out our last set here, letting the knees fall over one more time to the left, last time to the right. Come back through center, set the feet back down onto the mat. Release that pelvic curl for just a second, kind of wiggle it out for a moment. And then we reset, exhale, slightly tip that pelvis back just a little bit. Take the hands behind the head. We go for our chest lift or our ab curl. Exhale, start to bring the chest up, eyes to thighs here, abs very heavy, and then lower that head back down to the mat. Again, exhale, we lift, all the air comes out. Inhale, lower down. Exhale, lift, try to keep the head heavy in the hands as you lift the chest up. Taking your eyes to your thighs. Actively trying to get the shoulder blades off the mat every time you lift up. Now, a lot of times what happens here is we ab curl. Those lower abdominals are gonna push up or inflate towards the ceiling. And again, we wanna think about the abs getting heavy. They're pushing down as you lift up. And then you lower back down. And lift. And lower. We go for 4. For 3. For 2. Last one, nice and strong. Lower down, pause. Right arm reaches up to the ceiling. Ab curl with a twist. We go across to the opposite thigh. Twist, twist, twist through the chest. And then lower the chest back down, reach back up to the sky. Exhale, take it across, rotate the chest, the torso, come back. Again, exhale, across, rotate, and up. So now we do wanna peel the back of that right rib cage off of the mat. That's gonna get us into a further, deeper twist, which is what we want. We've got our last 3 here. Check back in with the abs, check back in with the pelvis. Last 2. Final one, nice and strong. Take it across, down. Right hand behind the head, left arm goes up to the sky. Other side, right away, take it across. Exhale, lift and lower. Again, exhale, lift, twist through the chest, and lower down. I'm actively thinking about pushing my feet into the mat as I lift my chest as well. Feeling really grounded from head to toe here. Across. By this point, we should start to feel the abs getting a little bit warmer here. You got it. Last 3. Final 2. One last one, nice and strong. Take it across, bring it down, and reset. Good. Let the knees fall from right to left. Kind of snuck up on me there at the end. Shaking out the pelvis, the spine, the hips for just a moment. We'll move into our bridge series next. Let's bring those knees back up towards the sky. Check back in that your knees are lined up with your hips. Start with your pelvic curl first. We're gonna tip that pelvis back. Then you keep going and you peel the hips up into a bridge. Let's pause at the top. We have space between our chin and our chest. Our ribs are closed, abs are heavy. You start to roll back down through the spine. Notice I'm trying to get my tailbone to touch last. It feels like a little bit of a crunch there at the bottom as I hold that tip of the pelvis for as long as I can until I have to set the tailbone down. Tip the pelvis back, release that water out, right? Again, imagining that water bowl. Roll it back down, bone by bone, onto the mat, and release it. Again. Using your breath to guide you here, knowing that you're in no hurry, no rush. You're being really intentional about manipulating the spine, taking your time here. Stopping at the top of your bridge each time, keeping that space between your chin and the chest the same. Good, this is our last one. Let's lift up to the bridge and hold it. Find your form first if you need to. And then right leg floats up into tabletop. Push deeply with that left foot. Keep the pelvis still as you lower the right leg down. Hold it for a moment, float the left leg up, pelvis stays still. Lower it back down. We keep alternating from the right and the left, trying to minimize how much you're moving through the lower body so the pelvis stays super still as much as you can. We want to feel the back side of the body doing the work now. So we're feeling the glutes, the hamstrings, right? Really initiating from that lower body. Minimizing that movement from right to left the best you can. Good, we're gonna hit 2 more on each side. Nice and still, nice and stationary. This is our last set to the right. Last set to the left. Pause at the top, hold it. Roll the hips down to the mat. Take a big exhale. Nice knee sway one more time. Give a little release there. And the next time your knees sway all the way to the left, you're gonna keep rolling onto that left side. Let's prop ourselves up onto our left elbow. Take the left rib cage, lift it away from the mat. So rather than kind of letting the waist droop, we lift. We're long toes together for our clamshell. We lift the right leg up towards the ceiling, squeeze in the glute, and then lower that leg back down. Exhale, lift, squeeze, and lower. We're finding a little bit more of the side glute now here. And I want you to be really mindful again about holding yourself up. It's very easy to kind of drop down and relax through that side body. So sometimes I like to take my opposite hand and kind of wrap it underneath the rib cage, kind of reminding myself to stay lifted, to stay long here. Exhale, squeeze, lift at the top and lower. This also has some pelvic stability in it as well. Just like when we were on our back, we want to try to keep the pelvis really still, the rib cage really still. We've got about 4 more here. Last 4. Final 3. Final 2. Last one of the clamshell. Lower the knee down, pause. Take the right arm up to the ceiling. It keeps reaching overhead as you lift the bottom hip up and off of the mat. Feel that stretch through your right side. Lower the hip back down as you lower the arm down. Exhale again, lift the hips, reach up and overhead. This is prepping us for our side reach. And then we lower back down. So we're using the obliques on the left side to get the hips up. We're finding a little bit of a stretch through that right side as we come up and over. We've got 4 more here. And lower. Last 3. Final 2. Good. Last one here. Feel a little bit of that left shoulder. You got it though. Lower it down and we mermaid stretch. Keep the knees stacked if you can. Grab hold of the shins and then the left arm reaches up and overhead. Feeling that counter stretch from the work we just did, right? Feels kind of nice. Nice big exhale. Try not to hold your breath. And then we lower down out of the stretch. We head to the other side. Right elbow comes onto the mat. Lift out of that right rib cage. Left leg starts to lead the clamshell. It comes up towards the ceiling and the knee closes back down. Exhale, we lift, squeeze, and lower. A lot of times what I'll see when I'm working with my group clients or private clients, a lot of times as that knee comes up, they'll start to roll backwards in the hips, right? And it's because we're trying to get a big range of motion, but I would rather you make your range of motion smaller, right, than sacrificing the placement of your pelvis. In Pilates, a lot of it is about detail. It's about being really specific, really precise. And it always comes down to where the pelvis is placed, where the ribs are placed, how the spine is lengthened. So I hear all the time from people like, oh, Pilates is so easy. And I'm like, well, we were probably forgetting something, right? We were probably working on autopilot, which to be fair is easy to do. This is our last 3. Final 2. Last one of the clamshell. Pause. Take that left arm to the sky. We exhale, reach that arm up and overhead as we float the right hip off the mat. Lower back down, reach the arm away from you. And again, exhale, press, lift. And come back up. Almost think about trying to create a banana shape through that right side as you come up and off of the mat. We got a lot of different muscle groups working here. The obliques are working, the shoulder, a little bit of the back. Especially if you're really intentional about pushing into the mat through that right side to bring yourself up. We go into our last 3. Final 2. Last one. Lower it down, grab hold of the shins for your mermaid stretch, go up and across, opening up here, taking that stretch. Feels nice after that side body work. Big exhale, let it all go. All right, we are almost there. We got a little bit of core work left, starting with our supported roll-ups. So bring those legs in front of you and then reach them out just a little bit further, so not too tight, okay? Hold on to the backs of the hamstrings. We start again by manipulating the pelvis. You're gonna tuck that tailbone under you, tip the pelvis back, exactly what we've been working on. We're gonna slowly inch our hands down the back of the hamstrings as we lower ourselves to the mat, and then reach the hands overhead once you get down there. Now we gotta get back up. Exhale, chin to chest first. Reach the arms forward to the backs of the thighs. Pull gently on the thighs as you start to walk the hands up, bringing yourself up, 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 all the way to that long spine. And again, tuck the tail, tip that pelvis back, 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 curving the spine, inching the hands down the hamstrings, lowering yourself down, reaching the hands over the head. Bring it back up, chin to chest. Grab those hamstrings as you peel yourself up and off of the mat. Good, we're gonna go for about 2 more here. Tip that pelvis, round the spine. Feel that stretch as you start to go back in that lower back. Settle the head down last, reach the hands above the head. Chin to chest first, look towards the thighs, scoop the abs deeply. Pull on the backs of the thighs as you bring yourself up, 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 up. Sit up nice and tall, take the exhale. Here's our last one, take it back. Tip the pelvis as much as you can. Round the spine, let all the air out, abs heavy. Inhale to prepare, exhale, chin to chest, peel it up. Abs pull down as you pull the chest forward. Come all the way up. Grab hold of the front of the shin, take some extension. We're just gonna kind of open up through the front of the chest. Maybe the head releases back if that feels good. and then bring it in. Bring those legs closer to you. Let's go for rolling like a ball. We're gonna hold onto the shins or into the knees, wherever is the most comfortable. Look down towards the belly button, round the spine and tip that pelvis back again. Now we exhale, roll it back just to your shoulder blades, rock yourself up. You can set your feet onto the mat. Look at the belly button, we go again. Hold yourself in that ball as you go backwards, you come up, set the feet down. Notice that I'm always looking to my belly button here the whole time, forcing myself into that rounded shape. And that's what rolling like a ball is, right? Trying to stay in that ball position, if you will. We've got 3 more to go. Use the abs to come up. I like to think about pushing my shins into my hands into my shins as I come back up. Here's our last 2. Our last one. Come all the way up, pause, let the knees fall open so you come into butterfly. Let the feet go away from you a little further so it's a wider butterfly position. Hands come behind the head, sit up as tall as you can here. Spine twist, we exhale, twist to the left as far as you can. Come back through center. Exhale, twist to the right as far as you can. Back through center, here's your breath. Take 2 breaths as you twist. Inhale, back through center. Exhale to the right, 2 breaths. Back through center, good. 2 more times each side. Last one to the left. Last one to the right. Come back through center, extend the legs out in front of you, and then roll forward towards the toes, giving yourself a little stretch to the upper back, through the hamstrings. Taking a nice big exhale here. Bring yourself all the way up, we're almost there. Bring yourself into a tabletop position. Hands coming directly underneath you, right under the shoulders. Dig your toes onto the mat. Now before we even start, I want you to find your abs again. So a lot of times we relax, we tip the pelvis in the wrong direction, and those abs lower down. So we wanna feel the abs lift, little tip of the pelvis, and feel like your spine is lengthening from your tailbone to the crown of your head. Now you're ready. You dig the toes. Exhale, we lift the knees 1 inch off of the mat, and then set the knees back down. Exhale, push, lift, little hover, and lower. Exhale, and lower those knees back down. Feel your chest, your back, your abs, and a little bit of the quads here as we go through these knee lifts. Exhale, up and release. Again, exhale, lift and release. Being intentional about lifting the abs as you lift the knees. We've got 4 more to go. Last 3. Final 2. Last one, nice and strong. Let's try to hold it. Stay for 4, for 3, 2. Knees settle down on the mat, sit the hips back to the heels. Taking a little stretch forward here. Finding that child's pose, let your head be heavy in the mat, the arms lengthen. Feel yourself relax, the belly fall between the thighs. We'll take one last big inhale in, an expansive exhale out. Start to slowly bring yourself back up, and you are done. That is your foundational mat Pilates class. Great class to come back to keep working on your form, understanding your alignment, and keep building up that Pilates strength as you go. Until next time, I'll see you back on the mats.